Hello everyone, welcome back to Guapish. This is a very special episode because this is the finale of our Star Wars sequel rewrites. Unfortunately, Hunter has not been able to join us this time. However, just like the last couple times, I'm joined by Nico.
Thank God we're finally done. I'm so happy to be over with this.
I mean, it's been a little fun writing these things, right?
I don't like Star Wars, Tanner.
I like Star Wars.
I thought we had some good stuff in there. There were some good bits.
I thought my stuff was pretty good.
There are plenty of good bits. And also joining us, Dylan.
I am here.
He's queer?
No, not that part. I'm just here.
You need to stop introducing yourself like that because Nico's going to go for the queer joke every single time. Now, before we get into it, I'm going to have to bring it down a bit. I'm going to have to make this a bit of a somber start.
Yeah.
You see, today I learned that my great-grandfather has passed. And I've made up a eulogy on the drive here. And I'd like to recite it for you.
I swear, Tanner, if this is a Jar Jar Binks impression.
This is not... No, this is actually for real. My great-grandfather is really dead. And
okay, I thought this was a bit.
No, this is not a bit. This is a genuine moment of me trying to, I don't know, be reflective on life, I suppose.
Okay.
Okay.
So my great-grandfather was Richard Dick Anderson. Dick is what everyone called him because his name was Richard, and for some reason that's the nickname.
Yeah.
I think he was born in North Dakota, but don't hold me to that. He passed away last night at the age of 97. And what I can say about my great-grandfather, who I always called Grandpa because we called my grandpa Papa, and I guess we just decided we could reuse a name. What I remember about him is that no matter how old he was, he was very young at heart. He always lived his life the way he wanted to live it. Like, up until, like, a year ago, he would go golfing, like, every week. At 96, he would go golfing, and whenever I would talk to him, I always got the sense that his sense of humor was always intact, and like, his mind never went. He was always sharp, he was always clear, he always knew where he was, who he was talking to, and what was going on around him. And he's really one of the most amazing men in my life, and a true inspiration to me. He was He's a veteran of World War II. He served as a radio operator in the Navy. He then took those skills into his private life and was able to build a very good living for himself working for television networks. And while that is a net positive nowadays, I mean a net negative. Dang it, I messed the joke up. Well,
I fucking knew it, Tanner. I knew that this was going to be
that was a joke. That was part of the eulogy. It's like a little lighthearted, you know. It's like, okay, we're not doing an Irish funeral here.
Okay.
Good God.
We're doing a Mexican funeral here, okay?
Okay.
My grandfather is extremely Swedish.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think that's as far as I got. I was originally planning on getting home and actually writing a eulogy, but then work screwed me over. So, like, you know, thanks, work. You've severed my connection with my grandfather. Yeah, he's a great man. I love him very much, and I'm really gonna miss him. And I've talked about it before about taking on his name as my middle name, and I think I am gonna do that. However, I've changed my mind slightly. I'm not gonna make Dick my middle name.
Yeah.
Not because I think that'd be stupid or whatever, but I actually like the idea of taking his last name Anderson as my middle name because he had all daughters. And so, like, it gives his last name a chance to live on a bit, you know?
Yeah. So is it going to be like Tanner Von Anderson?
No.
Nikolai? Okay.
When my dad's side of the family came over, originally Von Nikolai was all the last name, like both words were the last name.
Yeah.
And then they dropped the Von, and then my parents decided to bring back the Von as my middle name. And so when I take on my grandfather's name, I'm going to be Tanner Anderson, and I'm going to put the Von back into the last name. So Tanner Anderson Von Nikolai.
Okay. Gotcha.
You guys had any recent deaths in the family?
I haven't personally. Dylan, you?
Yeah.
I think the last person was like my grandma on my dad's side, but I barely knew her, so the one I really knew was probably my grandma.
Okay.
That I know of.
It's really weird. This is like the first person I was very close to that's died. And you know, obviously we saw this coming for a while because he's 97.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really crazy. And I'm not sure how well I'm processing it. I'm not crying or anything, and I think that's just because of the inevitability of it, but I was like getting the shakes at work. But
sometimes it hits you at a weird time.
Anyways, now on to the real topic, something else that reminds us of the futility of life. Star Wars.
Oh boy.
Is that a good segue?
That's the one with Baby Yoda, right?
Yeah.
It's got like Jar Jar Binks and stuff. Hang on, I just remember Jar Jar exists. I need to like edit something in my script real quick. Hang on.
Okay.
Oh,
So, Hunter said he won't be able to join us.
That bastard.
I don't know why.
Hang on, I typed Jar Jar.
I'm texting him right now. Here, let's... Hey, we literally just started. Are you sure you can't stop in and say something stupid at least?
Good God.
Well, you see, the issue is that if he does end up stopping in, he'll need to like record his like 1 minute of stupid thing that he says, and then he'll just bounce immediately again.
What if we just echo? We hear what he says, and
Yeah.
whoever's recording, we just...
What if we do the worst possible audio setup man could imagine?
What if, Dylan?
What if we did that?
What if? Never give up, never surrender.
Should I talk about Marvel's What If a bit right now, or save that for later?
You might want to save that for a later episode, perhaps.
Yeah, because, you know, I have things to say about it.
Yeah, you hate it. Fucking hate it. Captain Carter is now Captain America, a woman?
I hate elements of that show. I don't think I definitely don't hate the show in general, but...
I have no clue what we're talking about.
Yeah,
We know, Dylan, we know.
I mean, I probably have an idea of what you're talking about, but...
Here, what's your idea? Let's, like, based on the 4 sentences we've given you, what do you think it is?
Didn't they make another, like, TV series? Kind of, not exactly like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's supposed to be what happened after... Avengers Endgame or whatever, and it's supposed to be them putting like another team together or something like that.
No.
I don't remember.
No.
It was
No.
What's the name of the show?
It's What If.
Yeah, What If.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're...
Based on that name, Dylan, what do you think it's about?
I'm assuming it's like, what would happen if this happened instead of this?
There you go. Yeah,
it's not even that deep, actually.
Oh,
it's more like, what if like the 2 episodes so far is what if Captain America was a woman and what if Star-Lord was black.
Yeah. What if, Dylan? What if?
So it's like,
what
dude,
if?
what would happen except Marvel?
Yeah, it's exactly like, dude, what would happen?
That is quite possibly the worst comparison I've ever happened. They are similar in the sense that their names are in the form of a question. I can think of no similarities otherwise. Truly a baffling thought to pop into a man's mind.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to boggle the mind.
Speaking of mind-boggling, Star Wars.
Yeah,
Why is
Star
it popular?
Wars.
Why do people like it? It's bad, and it's almost always been bad. It's been bad more than it's been good.
Yeah, and today we might be able to make it good.
Yeah, honestly, the amount of bad it's been is greater than the amount of good it's been. Like, its lows are so much lower than its highs. It's truly an impressive franchise.
So could you say that Star Wars is similar to Sonic in that way?
Sure.
Nice.
One could say that. I don't know why they would.
Yeah, why did you say
Someone needs to say it. Dylan loves
I wonder
Sonic.
what noise I would need to make
to...
wonder what noise I would need to make the waveform in Audacity look like Sonic.
It depends on if you're trying to like make it like a full-on Sonic or just like maybe Sonic while he's spinning up in his little ball or something.
Right.
I would
like that.
assume he means
That's
the ball
a
form.
solid shitpost idea, right?
Just try and make
Yeah,
Sonic and Audacity.
Just show the web form.
You can definitely give it a shot. I will commend
well-
you if you can get good results.
Right. Yeah, we'll see about that one. Maybe a later date.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, other than Hunter goes first, I completely forget what the... Oh, it's Hunter, then Dylan, then Nico, then me? Is that...
Yes.
Okay.
But are we going to subvert expectations much like Star Wars tends to do?
I'd rather not.
That's fair. Alrighty, well then, Dylan. Sounds like, are you prepared, my boy?
I hope so.
Yeah, did you do any thinking about this whatsoever?
No.
Okay, that's kind of what I
It's
figured.
gonna be much like the first time.
Alright, that's okay.
What day... Well, the first time you were prepared.
Eh.
It was the
I had-
second time that you came in freestyling.
No, the second time he came in guns blazing, he had written a 5-page script that time around.
Yeah, the first time is off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But I actually put mental energy into doing it. I didn't even know the title of the movie until like 5 minutes ago.
Right. Nico, what day did you tell Dylan we were doing this?
Maybe Tuesday?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Zero
I definitely gave
excuses
him a heads
then.
up.
I get distracted easy, obviously.
Well, Dylan, are you prepared to tell us your version of events for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it my best shot here. I don't know how long it's gonna be. I'll try to put as much pad time in this as possible.
Maybe don't do
Can I get like a 1-minute synopsis of your last movie?
Yeah. So basically, what happened last...
I assume they're following each other, yeah?
Yeah, basically. The only
Okay.
reason the first one didn't is because it happened like way in the past.
Yeah.
So basically, based on the last movie, we had the normal gang, you know, like Rey and Poe and all the Han Solo and Chewie and all them. They were flying around trying to evade the Galactic Empire and all that kind of stuff, whatever they're called now.
Notice
First
that
Republic.
the only person Dylan forgot was Finn, the black one.
And, you know, they're flying around to different planets and they're scavenging for parts, mostly to build a stealth drive, and then they happen upon a shield generator. And upon visiting said planets, which a majority of them were rebel planets at the time, or before that time, they consecutively were blown to bits, and the First Empire continued its hunt for the team. And basically where we left them at the end of it was Finn telling the group about like a symbiote, like cyborg creature thing that they were building to contain the Force ghost of Anakin Skywalker. And in this universe, Luke Skywalker has been dead for many years, and Rey is one of the last Jedis, as I had stated in the previous movie. And then you got people like Kylo and all them, and, you know, Chancellor Palpatine and all them, and now Anakin Skywalker returning for their big debut in this movie. So, in this movie, the screen fades from black, and all you get is the audible noise of Darth Vader's, ventilated breathing. And they're just reminiscing over the past. They're showing all the struggles of Anakin, you know, rising from being a child and being raised as a Jedi to the eventual conversion into a Sith Lord. And then, you know, it shows the turn of events a little bit different than we remember them, like Obi-Wan not being able to actually really defeat Anakin at all. Obviously still needing the suit like we all remember. And then, you know, him fighting Luke in front of Chancellor Palpatine, and instead of Chancellor Palpatine being tossed off the edge into the abyss of electricity and death.
He also explodes, by the way.
Yes, he also explodes. He manages to escape and flee, and, he has no change of heart. It was a very tough battle between Luke and Anakin. Unfortunately, the wounds that Luke suffered were too great, and he passed away soon after that fight. And, Anakin also died on the explosion of the Death Star. So without the change of heart, his Force Ghost didn't really become a Force Ghost. It was more like if we were to think of it, more like a Sith Ghost, where, you know...
Force Spectre.
Yeah, kind of a Force Spectre. That's probably a good name for
Force
it.
Phantom.
Yeah.
A Force Phantom who is also a menace?
That's where I thought you were going with that, to be honest.
There we go. So let me just make sure I understand. You've essentially retconned every single Star Wars movie before this one.
Yes.
With this. Okay.
Yes.
Just making sure I understand.
One might even say that my movies are non-canon. They're canon to me, anyway. So basically, we're getting a flash forward to the scene where they were fixing up Anakin and putting the suit on him for the first time. However, it flashes in a non-distinct way, and it's just a symbiote being heavily armored in the same kind of garb look and stuff, but it's not, obviously his ventilated suit. And you see this phantom that's writhing in pain as they descend, infuse it into the Vader symbiote. And Chancellor Palpatine's there, Kylo's there, and the one Snoke, that guy, he's there, and they're witnessing the whole thing. Here. Yeah, the gang's all there, and they're witnessing this transfusion happening, and after a brief moment of silence, the suit starts to move as the soul manifests inside, and as he slowly rises, he's like, "Where am I? How long have I been out?" And they begin to inform him and fill him in on what has happened, and Vader starts to question Kylo because he's new, he's young, all that kind of stuff. He must know what's going on. He must be more active, and Kylo is just talking about the small group of resistance and how the rebellion has been snuffed out except for them, and that their only goal at this moment is to find them out and to get rid of them because they're the only thing that is standing between them and universal domination somehow, because that's how plots work. Then Chancellor Palpatine tries to step in and tries to talk over Anakin and try to get him to do what he wants, and he's like, "You are no longer the greatest Sith Lord in existence. I am now immortal. Whatever is done to me, I can come back in another symbiote robotic form." In which case, Darth Vader begins to force choke Chancellor Palpatine, and he tries to do the little lightning attack. However, considering he's a robot, it has absolutely no effect. And so Vader then proceeds to whip out his lightsaber and just cut Chancellor Palpatine in half, and ending his story there. And then very quickly, Snoke realizes that things are real bad. He shouldn't be there, but luckily for him, it was actually just a projection of him, like it's been, except for in the one movie. Where they don't kill him in that movie. He's still alive.
Well, yeah. That movie didn't happen. Your movie did.
Yeah, that didn't happen. So
was he even in that one?
No, actually, come to think of it, he was not.
Of the last one?
No, he was not in it at all.
Why is he in this one?
I don't know.
Where's Captain Phasma, Dylan?
Captain Phasma, I don't know. She's off doing Imperial Stormtrooper stuff.
Okay.
Why did the Sith completely broken the rule of two?
I don't know. Because at that point, Darth Vader promotes Kylo Ren up to be a Sith Lord, and there's your rule of two. To balance everything out.
I'll address that at the end. I'll hold my questions for the end.
That's totally fine. I am totally off the cusp right now, so yeah. This is played very heavily by ear. So for obvious reasons, Rey is able to sense that the soul of Darth Vader has returned back to this realm of reality, and she's like, it's too late, it's already happened. And so, with the whole gang worried, they activate the stealth drive and they jump into hyperspace somewhere far away so they can recollect, regroup, and form a strategy. And they kind of yada from there, and then they run across a rogue transmission, some kind of pocket rebellion that has been able to keep away from the First Republic for a very long time. So they acknowledge the coordinates and they fly to the location, in which they show up in the location and there's nothing there. All of a sudden, the Millennium Falcon systems are all disabled. Their engines are dead. They have no electricity. They cannot move. And suddenly, overall frequencies comes a voice asking them for their identification and what their business is, and giving them a reason why they shouldn't blow them up then. And so after Han Solo addressing who it is and who he has on board, the voice recognizes him and is like, "Han, is that you?" And turns out the voice is Leia, General Leia, which survived all the other stuff somehow, and is alive, forming and building a new rebel alliance as kind of like a secret ops to take out the First Empire from within. So, they get together, they make their plans like they always do, and then they initiate their mission. And so they all fly out, and the Millennium Falcon is spearheading the assault because, although they just joined up with the group, the rest of the rebellion has acquired stealth tech along as well as they have. So they fly up, they visit the big old death planet that I was talking about before, because that's where obviously all the important stuff goes down. And they begin their stealthy work instead of just going guns blazing trying to blow up the death planet like how it happens in most movies. They try to get in, they try to sabotage the internals, seeing if they can get it to shut down, and maybe have it self-destruct as a bonus. So the key components on this is obviously Finn and Rey, and then they have Poe along with them just because he's an excellent pilot, and then Han and Chewie stay back along with BB-8 and C-3PO to monitor the Falcon as they fly another stealth fighter into the planet. So the group flying in would consist of Finn, Rey, Poe, and R2-D2. And then they yada yada for a while. They're managing to get most of the systems offline, to which the base becomes alerted, but they cannot find any evidence of any intruders. And right as they get to the final room to disable the last the power couplings and the power stabilizers and all that stuff, the who you'd expect to be waiting there, Darth Vader and Kylo Ren, are standing in front of the controls, in which Rey is not at all prepared for this fight. But she knows that if she can keep them both distracted long enough, Poe will be able to protect Finn so he can disable the last of the power couplings and the power stabilizers. However, Darth Vader forces both Finn and Poe out of the room and shuts the door behind them, so it locks Rey in the room with Darth Vader and and Kylo. And so a battle ensues. They're fighting, but they're not fighting with the intention to kill, because it turns out at the end of all of this, their intention was to convert the last Jedi into a Sith Lord, which as long as they can get all of the opposing threats, which if a Jedi is one of them, out of their way, and they can also add power to their own side, then things will work out better for them. So as they depart, Finn, Poe, and R2-D2 kind of hide out for a little bit, waiting for things to die down, and the First Empire starts to get all the systems back online, and so Poe's like, this is our final chance. We got to get back in that room, but we have to disable the final power cufflink and power stabilizer. And Finn's like, well, no, it's too risky. Shouldn't we go save Rey? And he's like, and then Poe's like, well, Rey's a big girl. She can take care of herself. She'll be fine until we can catch up to her. So
and she doesn't cry.
Exactly. So with that information, Finn and Poe and R2-D2 work on disabling the final power relay and everything, in which they succeed just before the First Empire is able to get all the other systems back online. And unfortunately, they were not able to activate a self-destruct from that point, so that part was kind of crossed out. So outside of the Death Planet, there are fleets flying in which the Rebellion is able to take them out as they see fit, and kind of dwindle down their numbers and reduce the air support that the Empire could get. And so we flash back over to Rey and Kylo again in the interrogation room, where Kylo's just really trying to break her psyche and really trying to make her not believe the things that she's seen or heard or believed to this point, in which case it's not working. Darth Vader comes in the room and tries his best, and realizing that she may be outclassed in the Force compared to Darth Vader, she kind of puts on a little bit of an act, just kind of pretending that she's become one of them, just to maybe buy herself some time, because everybody's got a little darkness in their heart and whatever. It's something that Kingdom Hearts taught me. And so they were able to sense the darkness, and she was able to use it, because if Luke Skywalker can use both light and dark side of the Force, then hey, we'll also Starkiller, but he's not in this movie. So she's playing it cool for a while, and from the inside, she's watching them, seeing how they do things, and seeing if she can look for any weaknesses. And then right as Finn, Poe, and R2-D2 invade the control console room, where, they were able to get some disguises and kind of just waltz in there, they were trying to figure out a way to activate the self-destruct. And right as they got caught, Rey managed to take down the Darth Vader symbiote, and through a means of excruciating force usage and unknown tactics, she was able to kind of banish the soul from being able to bind to any other symbiotes, so thus solving that problem. And then a fight between Kylo and Rey pursues very soon after, in which Kylo is very distraught because he's like, man, you killed like my hero and like the best, like the coolest Sith Lord ever. I'm gonna make you pay for that. While Finn, Poe, and R2-D2 are initiating the self-destruct, and as soon as the red lights and sounds start blaring, all the Imperial captains and all the stormtroopers are scrambling to find a way off the planet because they know if they're caught anywhere within the blast, none of them will survive. So really, none of them are paying attention to Finn, Poe, and R2-D2 and Rey and Kylo, and they're kind of just running to save their own lives. So we flash forward a little bit. Kylo and Rey are still really going at it, and Finn, Poe, and R2-D2 manage to find an Imperial cruiser to steal to get off the planet. All the while ships are trying to leave the Death Planet, the Rebellion uncloak themselves and engage in full combat with the fleeing First Empire peoples, and eliminating much of their forces. And Rey is able to, disable Kylo's, means to fight by cutting off one of his hands, and then also cutting off one of his legs, which puts him even closer to being Darth Vader, like Nico always wanted him to be. Mm-hmm. And Rey manages to use that time to escape, all the while Kylo is able to crawl himself to an Imperial cruiser that is manned with, Captain Phasma there. She's there. She finds him, and they escape. All the while, the Rebellion was able to eliminate roughly 60 to 70% of the First Empire's forces fleeing the planet, of which the majority of them were caught in the blast of the explosion anyway. So, what we're left with at the end of the movie is a budding rebellion starting to come into fruition again. Kylo is alive and is going to get the Darth Vader treatment, and Snoke is somewhere in the far reaches of the galaxy still able to lead the First Empire, and Kylo and Phasma are going off to their facility to find him. And maybe that's where it leaves off. If they make another Star Wars, if we do another one of these, maybe it'll be a nice little wrap up to the whole thing, because I haven't seen this movie, so I have no clue how it ends. And that's everybody lives for the most part, except for the bad people, and that's how my movie ends. And I'm ready for criticism now.
Dylan,
what up?
Where are all the porgs?
Where are the porgs?
The porgs are safe on their own planet. I didn't want them to get involved.
Dio?
Yeah.
Dio.
Where's Dio at? Why didn't he ever say, "It's me, Dio"?
Now, I'm gonna be brutally honest, Dylan. The reason for these rewrite episodes was us pointing out that the real Star Wars sequels felt very disjointed from each other and therefore, like not very good.
Right.
Your stories feel fairly disjointed, which is definitely not helped by the fact that your first one was a prequel going back thousands of years before the next two.
But you see, Tanner, it seamlessly connected with the other two films.
It didn't, but I'll let you say that, I suppose.
I have nothing to back that statement up, but I will swear by it.
I very much enjoy your almost total lack of understanding of what the point of this exercise was, and your seemingly absolute lack of knowledge on the Star Wars universe. However, I will say, in a way that let you get more creative, and you weren't held back as much by what we conceive as possible and not possible, and what the rules are in this Star Wars universe.
That's right, Dylan didn't have any restraints at all.
It tends to happen when the creative juices are flowing and I have no script in front of me. My brain is allowed to do whatever the heck it wants.
That's right. I don't know what a scripter is, but you almost surely didn't have one in front of you, for that matter.
They should just let actors do this on the norm. They're just like, hey, we're doing this movie, and then they just get the freeform it. It'd be good stuff.
Yeah, apparently that's what all Adam Sandler movies are.
Very funny.
That's not a joke,
now,
Tanner. Apparently that's what the grown-ups films were.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, what I do want to ask you, Dylan, is well, to you, what is the rule of twos? Like, do you know what that means?
I mean, I feel like I've heard it before, and if I was to take a guess at what it is usually whenever a Sith or a Jedi come to existence, they're usually paired with one other person, which is like an example of Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, and then like Count Dooku and Darth Maul, and then I think it was, well, they both got killed though, and then it was, I think, Chancellor Palpatine and then Anakin Skywalker who became Darth Vader. Isn't that basically how that is?
So the rule of twos only applies to Sith, and the idea is there's only ever two Sith in existence at one time, a master and apprentice.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, but you see, Dylan created 2 sets of 2. So that's cool, right?
Right.
That's basically still the rule of 2s.
Anyway, I feel like Now, let me think. Which of your 3 did I like the most?
Ooh, that's a great question. I would like to know the answer to that too, whether freeform or scripted.
Which one did you like the most?
I personally liked the very first one because I like the concept of origin stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought I did a pretty good job at just making stuff up for that one.
I think I'd agree with you in saying that I like your first one the most. It's got like the most interesting concepts, and I especially like the lack of like I guess Jedi, like rules-based Jedi, because that's what like Jedi are. They're like rules followers and whatever. They're fucking nerds. I like that you get to show like a more organic development of what like Force users look like.
Right, yeah.
It had the most heart in it. Had the most soul, my boy.
It was before times when rules and everything were established. They were just kind of like, we have powers. We'll do what we can with them.
Yeah.
Well,
boys. I suppose.
Yeah.
It's that time once again now, isn't it?
Well,
it's that time of the month.
You didn't say which one was your favorite.
I thought that they all were fantastic, Dylan.
But which one's your favorite?
It's like picking children, my guy. I can't pick a favorite. Are you kidding me?
That's fair. I'll take it.
They're all just so good, my boy. Now, I would like to go ahead and make an apology. Well, less of an apology and more of an excuse, okay? You see, last time around, Tanner gave me no time whatsoever. The producers, there was studio meddling involved, okay? They
I don't know, is that
put
even
too
true
much...
that I gave you no time last time?
The issue last time was that I had a lot going on with school, and you were like, hey, we're doing this thing. I was like, I definitely can't write anything. And you were like, too bad.
Okay.
That was the exchange that happened.
I'd like to see the receipts, but go on.
I think it may have happened in person. I believe it was like after a podcast, you're like, oh, by the way, this is what we're doing. And I was like, I can't do that.
What, for the last one?
Yeah, the last one that happened.
We've literally never done an episode of Guapish in person, you and I.
It was like after we were done recording the episode, Tanner.
That's not in person, then.
It's basically in person.
God.
However, don't you worry,
going,
gamers, because this time around, I put my heart and soul into this. Much like Dylan did with every single one of his stories, I also put my heart and soul into this. And it is going to be the greatest Star Wars story ever. We are going to be concluding this trilogy with a bang, boys. With a bang.
Was it concluding it with a bang, the big issue most people had with Rise of Skywalker?
Oh, don't worry. It's still very open-ended at the end as well. So there's a bang,
I
but
hate
also...
open-ended endings.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking for Sans. There's Sans. He's here.
Yeah, of course he's here, Dylan. I can't just write Sans Undertale into the story and have him be a pivotal character in the previous film and then not include him in the newest one. That would be crazy, my guy.
That'd be ridiculous, yeah.
Makes sense. Understandable.
What is Sans supposed to be in the context of the Star Wars universe?
You see, Sans is less of a character and more akin to, like, you know, something like Godzilla, where it's basically just a force of nature that you need to contest with. You can't truly destroy Sans Undertale. You just need to deal with him, you know?
Right.
So Sans is R2-D2?
Well, yeah, Sans was R2-D2 all along.
Yeah.
But he was, like, chained within R2-D2.
He
couldn't
kill
get out.
R2-D2.
Exactly.
Was he R2-D2 in the prequels?
Yeah. He's always been R2-D2. He's always been like stuffed inside of there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Don't you worry. There'll be even more lore explored in this episode.
Nice.
Yeah. So, boys, let's get right on to the show here. The film. It opens with a nice little text roll that serves as a little apology for like how bad the previous film was, like how full of plot holes it was, and how like, we're just really gonna promise people that we will not be subverting anyone's expectations during this film,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Much like how the actual Rise of Skywalker opened up with. Yeah. And so after that nice little text scroll, we see as the main Star Destroyer is fleeing the battlefield, that Sans Undertale just continues to destroy the rest of the fleet. So we get all the pivotal First Order people, all the main boys. They're all just chilling in that main Star Destroyer. And so like, alright, this is a big problem and we can't really do much about it. So you got Big Palpatine. I don't really think I explored Big Palpatine much previously. But he's basically just like a massive version of Palpatine. He's what replaces Snoke, He's really fat. I don't think that you guys were aware of that before, but he is morbidly obese, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, picture a fat person in your mind right now. He's like 3 times that big, okay? That's just how fat he is. he like floats around in a little hover chair akin to like Dr. Eggman, That's his whole deal.
We're talking like Wall-E people?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a Wall-E person, but even more fat. And so we get a nice big close-up on that Big Palpatine's face as he's just sweating profusely. He's unsure what he's supposed to do in this current situation. He's like the main guy, and he doesn't even know what's happening anymore. And then we just see like Kylo Ren, he's stopping in a corner somewhere, because despite how often he's being like all emo, he's like, oh, I want to die and stuff, he doesn't really know what to do in a situation where his life is actually at stake, So he's just kind of cowering at the moment. And as for, Captain Phasma, she's just, like, really passive-aggressive about everything, because she wants to go fight Sans Undertale, She wants the challenge. But Big Palpatine's like, no, you need to stay next to me, I'm scared. And so, that's just kind of what she's doing right now. So yeah, the main Star Destroyer, it's just running away. It's running low on fuel, though, which is a big issue, because if they run out of fuel, then, the ship will come to a standstill, and Sans Undertale will be able to catch up to them, as was established in the original, whatever the previous movie was, whatever it's called. So, they gotta get somewhere. What was
your last one called?
Last Jedi, but good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, they gotta get out of there, otherwise Sans Undertale will definitely catch up to them and just slaughter them all immediately. So, Phasma points out that, okay, hang on, we're getting close to a planet here. We can maybe, stop there and refuel a little bit, and then we should be good to go. But Big Palpatine states that, no, we can't stop there. That right there is a very important planet to the Sith, okay? We can't just, stop there. And, here in this news it's an important Sith planet. It makes, good old Kylo, his ears perk up just a little bit, It's like, hey, what? A Sith planet, you say? What's the deal with that? And Big Palpatine is like, okay, so check it out. That right there, that's the Sith catacombs. It's where we bury all of the Sith Lords who have died over the years.
Oh, no.
Each and every one of them. And Kylo is... all the Sith Lords, you say? Are you serious? And he's like, yeah, of course, We take special care of every single one of our members, We gotta make sure that they have a nice little burial. He just kind of blathers on for, hours on end about, this is what the Sith planet is all about. It's pretty cool, guys. But we can't go there, it's forbidden. But during this whole thing, Kylo ends up hopping in an escape pod and just jetting right down there. And, so after that, Palpatine's like, okay, well... Damn it, okay. Well, I guess we need to go with the Sith catacombs now. Alright, let's head on down there. So yeah, they start heading on down there as Kylo was heading his way as well. So after that, we get a nice little scene of 2 Jedi who are all nice and cloaked up, just duking it out on a big island planet, okay? They're just going at each other. One of them has a Darth Maul-esque lightsaber, the other one's using a basic-ass one, and it's I made sure to underline this part, okay? It's really cool. It looks really cool, guys. You gotta believe me on this. Dylan can see. It's underlined.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so just as they're getting ready to do one big final clash, the Darth Maul Jedi, they crumple to the ground and start grabbing their head and stuff. And it's here where we see that it's Rey. Rey is the Darth Maul-esque Jedi because, she has she would fight with the stick before, which is it's like the Darth Maul lightsaber, so that's what she ends up using. Why didn't they do that? It seems like such an obvious thing, right?
Yeah, that seems obvious to me.
Yeah, it seems like a real no-brainer, but whatever. What do I know? I don't know Star Wars. And so yeah, as she's like bunched up on the ground, a bunch of porgs rush up to her side to comfort her, because we gotta get the porgs in there. You guys both keep forgetting the porgs, but I remembered them. Daddy Disney knows that we need some marketable characters in there, boys.
Did you have porgs in the last two?
No, because we never got to that planet. We never saw it at any point. I just skipped over it in the last film. we never saw Rey training whatsoever. So yeah, Rey looks up at the other Jedi and exclaims that there's something wrong with Kylo right now. She can sense it because of their Force link or whatever. And it's here where we see that the other...
me?
Dude, Rey? Maybe just a little bit. I guess we'll find out later in the film.
I mean, he's kind of cute.
He's got this really cool edge boy thing going on. It's kind of hot, not gonna lie. Like, he's kind of built like a Lego character, you know? I dig it. And so where she looks up at the other Jedi, and we see that... It's Luke Skywalker from the previous Star Wars films. He was in the originals, guys. Dylan, do you remember Luke Skywalker? He was really cool.
Yeah, he was dead in my movie.
Yeah. And so when she tells him that, Luke just he gazes up longingly towards the sky as we start seeing a nice little clip show of all the nice little memories that Luke and Kylo shared as Luke was training them back in the day. You know, we end up seeing things like Luke celebrating Kylo's birthday party, and then they're just like throwing a ball back and forth together, and like they're playing little practical jokes on each other. Like Kylo sneaks a whoopee cushion under like Luke's desk or whatever, and then like Luke sits on it and he's like, "Oh, you!" And then we also see a nice little scene of like Luke chasing after Kylo Ren with a lightsaber in his hand with murderous intent in his eyes, because like, you know, that's when like they split up and stuff. So like, yeah, a lot of nice little moments there. And then after that, we see the pair starts walking up over to the Millennium Falcon so they can start jetting off towards wherever the heck Kylo Ren is supposed to be. And it's here where we see Chewie just like cooking up some porgs, because what else are they going to eat on the planet, you know? They gotta cook up some nice smoked porg stew. I completely lost my train of thought, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, did something happen in Discord? What?
Yeah, no. I just, like, completely short-circuited after saying the term smoked pork stew. Porg, not porg. So, yeah. After this, Luke just asks Kylo, like, hey, where exactly is Kylo anyway? And Rey's like, oh, yeah, I don't actually know. I just can sense that something bad is going on. So they decide head on back to the Resistance planet to figure out, like, what they should be doing from here. And so, you know, during this whole thing... wait, what the fuck? What does this mean?
Is there something you wrote down that you now do not understand?
Yeah, I don't remember what this bullet point meant at all, so we're gonna skip over that for now.
No, let's hear the bullet point.
I think I know where this is supposed to go. I'll mention it in a little bit.
Okay.
So, yeah, they start heading back to the Resistance planet, basically. And so, now we know what two of the groups in this film are doing. But there's one more group, you know? There's one more little group of people that we gotta catch back up with real quick here. And that's Finn and Poe. Because Finn and Poe, they're taking care of Lumpawaru, you know, Chewbacca's son. Everyone knows who Lumpawaru is. And, unfortunately, the little guy has space pneumonia, and hijinks ensue. We don't see these hijinks, we just know that they ensue. And so while they're dealing with the space pneumonia, they end up landing on the Sith Catacombs planet for some reason. That's the bullet point that I wrote that I didn't know where it went.
Yeah, you mixed it up.
Yeah. Alright, and so Rey and the boys, they're heading on down to the Rebel planet. They eventually get there, and they see that it is just completely in ruins because Sans Undertale completely decimated it once he got freed. Chewie ends up coming across the body of his dead wife, and he lets out a big Chewbacca sound. Dylan, can you replicate a sad Chewbacca sound? Yeah, it's like
Very
that, but
good.
more sorrowful, basically. And then after that...
Is he making noise? I can't hear anything.
Oh, yeah, he made a noise, don't worry.
It'll come through on the recording.
Yeah. And then Luke ends up seeing the shell of R2-D2, and this is when he realizes that, oh no, someone freed Sans. We then go into the backstory of Sans Undertale, which is like, you know, it's very emotional. It's an incredibly emotional backstory that causes every single person in the theater to sympathize with the character of Sans Undertale, and the group ends up reluctantly agreeing that, yeah, you know what? As much as we hate to do it, because Sans Undertale is such a beloved character at this point, I think we still need to figure out a way to go and kill him. And so that's what they do. They end up deciding, okay, We gotta get to Kylo as well as Sans Undertale and kill them both. It's the only way. It's the only way to do anything in this point. We don't have anything left to lose. It's here that Chewbacca remembers, hang on a second. I put a tracker on Lumpawaru so that I could find him just in case anything like this happened, because he's like a super invasive helicopter parent. Because, you know, we could all tell that from the start. Chewbacca would be a helicopter parent, okay? Like, okay. Don't even at me with that. Okay. So, because of that, they figure out, okay, we figured it out, this is where he's at, we'll go there, and we'll find Poe and Finn, and who knows what else. But hey, Poe and Finn, they're on the Sith Catacomb planet already. So this just totally works out, boys. Alright. So, however, the First Order, since they were so close already, they're the first to reach the Catacombs planet as they're, like, you know, following Kylo down there. They're, like, a shitload of temples, like, on the surface of it, because it's a big place of worship and stuff, and where, like, the Sith go to die. So, it's like, well, I guess we're down here, but we don't know where Kylo went. He could be in any one of these little temples here. But they end up finding his little escape pod, so they hack into it, and they're like, okay, it's got a camera on here. We can figure out where he went based off of what the camera last saw. And they see a nice little scene of Kylo, like, getting the little, like, space scooter, basically. It's like a hovering space scooter that is in every single one of the escape pods, just in case you need to, like, jet off to somewhere after you get down on a who knows what kind of planet. And we just see a nice little clip of him just, like, riding the scooter, but he's like, you know what, I want to do a sick trick. So he tries to do a sick little trick, but the scooter little part, like, swings around, bashes him in the chin, as so many of us have experienced in our lives. And so he just falls to the ground, and he starts just limping towards one of the temples. And so that's where they figure out, okay, he's in that temple. We can just, like, follow his trail of blood from there to figure out where he's at. So yeah, that's what we get from there.
Nice.
Yeah. I just said so many things, I don't know which bullet point I'm even on at this point.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, there we go. And so after this, Poe and Finn, they're just chilling on the planet for a little bit, and then good old Rey and the boys end up showing up. Everyone has a heartfelt reunion, because it's been so long since they've been able to regroup. Poe and Finn feel really bad about sending Lumpa back to his real dad, and it's in this moment that they realize that, you know what? I think that we want to raise a son of our own, as two straight men, that they're straight. Disney swears that they are straight characters, Tanner. I know what you think. They're straight, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, is here where they, the group, they see that there's a big group of First Order goons just right outside one of the temples. That must be where Kylo went. So, Chewie and Lumpa opt to just, like, chill on the ship, you know, just in case anything bad ends up happening. They need to get a nice little emergency escape going here. And so, Luke just, like, kind of, like, he kind of decimates these First Order goons, okay? Like, he just parts them like the Red Seas, and they don't have any problem just walking right on through there. And so as they make their way inside, I said there are a ton of different tunnels in there, just going right down into the catacombs. I'm like, well, shoot, we don't really know where to go, but at the moment, there's a much bigger threat facing them right now, because Captain Phasma, she's guarding the entrances, my boy. And so they're gonna have to get past her if they really want to get anywhere in here. So it's here where Finn decides, okay, I'm gonna fight her, boys. This is my story arc. I need to fight Phasma to show that I am the strongest of all of the people. And it's here where Poe and Finn, they share a nice little bro moment. It's not gay. I made sure to underline that. Dylan can see it. I underlined and italicized it. It is not a gay bro moment, Tanner. It's not gay.
Well, you didn't bold it, so...
I didn't bold it. Hang on, I'll bold it right now. There we go. Not gay.
They're just sharing a kiss with the homies, you know?
Exactly. That's all that's happening, alright? There ain't nothing wrong with that. And so, Luke must now fight Fat Palpatine as he goes through the tunnels. He finds Fat Palpatine, they're like, okay. Looks like it's just you and me, Fat Palpatine. And so Luke and Fat Palpatine, they have a nice little tussle. Meanwhile, Rey, she ends up figuring out exactly which tunnel Kylo went down. And so she goes right down the tunnel, and, hang on a second. She's walking down here, it's getting a little dark, and, oh, hang on. There's some light in the cavern up ahead, and what's that? There's some sort of figure standing there in the light, but I can't quite make him out. But oh, he's starting to walk a little closer now, and who could it be? That figure that emerges from the crypt. It's Darth Vader. He's here. The moment that Rey sees him, he immediately starts going on his monologues. He starts talking about how, like,
Darth Vader's famous monologues.
Exactly. He starts talking about how, like, I see through the lies of the Jedi. I do not fear the dark side as you do. I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire. You're
How
asking
can
me
you
to be
have
rational.
freedom and security, you idiot?
You're asking me to be rational. I know that is something I cannot do. Sometimes we must let go of our pride and do what is requested of us.
want.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. I listen to all the... I listen to all the
He just really lays it out like that from my point of view. The least subtle thing.
If you haven't noticed yet, Tanner, these are all quotes from Star Wars that Darth Vader or Anakin have said at some point.
When have these said, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil?
Hang on,
He's
let's
never
see.
said that.
Oh, he 100% has. This is from the prequels,
Yeah,
my boy.
I mean, most of these do sound familiar to me.
Let's see. Yeah, it's during his fight with Obi-Wan.
God,
and then,
just what a nightmare. Keep going.
Got him, dude. We got him.
I listen to all the traders and star pilots who come through here. I'm a pilot, you know. It's someday I'm going to fly away from this place. You know. So initially,
Wasn't that from Solo?
No, that's from the first movie.
That's from Solo.
No, it's from
No,
one of the
first
films.
movie.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when they're getting him
Guys,
off the
is Star
planet.
Wars bad?
Isn't that the conclusion we came to in light of making these?
And you know, Rey was initially stricken with fear when she saw the visage of Darth Vader there, but now she's just kind of getting bored with him. She looks around the cavern a little bit while he's going on his monologues and see that there's one of the caskets that have just kind of been like pulled out, and there's like a body that's been removed and like stripped down. And you know, she's kind of able to put two and two together, and she looks at Vader all disappointed and says like, "Hey, Kylo, what are you doing right now?" And this here where Darth Vader says, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not Kylo. I don't even know who that guy is. Ahem, you underestimate my power. Then they whip out their lightsabers and they prepare to duel. Alright. Exactly. Dylan gets it. He's making Yu-Gi-Oh! References over here.
Here we go.
Alright, so, even though that they're about to fight, we don't get to see what happens quite yet, okay? We're saving that for a climax. For now, though, I cut back over to Phasma and Finn's fight. And Phasma's just kind of kicking Finn's ass right now. Like it's no contest. This entire time, Finn has not like actually had any training arc whatsoever. So he's just kind of been taking care of Lumpawaru the entire time. So he still doesn't stand a chance against Phasma quite yet. So it's here where Finn, he's about to die. Phasma has her sword just like pointed out to him, and she's like, "You're gonna die, Finn. You know that, right?" And he looks at the camera and is like, "Hang on a second. I'm not dead quite yet." He stares into the camera and he says, "If you want me to survive, all you need to do is go to Disney's website and start purchasing all of the Disney stock you possibly can. Buy so much Star Wars merchandise. Buy the Star Wars jetpacks. Buy the Star Wars Death Star Lego set. You need to do it if you want me to live." And it's here where we just kind of pause for a few minutes as he stares into the camera intently. And we see like a number on screen. It's like, we need this many sales for Finn to live. And we just have to kind of like wait there for a little bit. And once that number is reached, he's like, "Alright, thanks audience. With your power, I can now use the Spirit Bomb sword that was seen in Dragon Ball Super where Trunks did it. It didn't make sense there, so why would it make sense here, okay?" And so he just does it, and he just cleaves Phasma right in half, okay? She fucking dies.
Does Phasma also
I'm
say
gonna
the same
regret
thing?
asking this, but what is the Spirit Bomb sword?
What's the Spirit Bomb sword? What a great question, Tanner. You see, in Dragon Ball Super, during the Goku Black arc, it doesn't make any sense there either, you see?
Where did the Spirit Bomb come from?
Exactly, Dylan. Where did the Spirit Bomb come from? How does Trunks know how to use the Spirit Bomb? Why does it turn into a sword afterward? Why is that still enough to kill Zamasu? None of it makes sense, Dylan, so it doesn't make sense here either, my boy.
I'm gonna reflect on that later.
The entire arc just makes zero sense. Anyway, yeah, so after all of that, you know, unfortunately for Kylo, Rey has been, like, training this entire time. And so, Kylo just doesn't really stand a chance against her. She mops the absolute floor with him. She starts pulling out all of the Force powers in the book. Like, she's definitely not a Mary Sue. Okay, don't say that. She spent a lot of time training. she ends up doing, like, all the stuff we never even see in the Star Wars movies. She starts pulling out all these, like, force powers from the games and shit, you know? Like, she's just, like, pushing and pulling him so rapidly that he's getting motion sick and stuff, and she's, like, shooting fire from her fingertips and just scorching his face off. And, yeah, she's brutalizing him, my guy. She's just flinging him up onto the ground and the ceiling and shit, you know? And, you know, as Rey peers at Kylo into that Darth Vader mask, he tells her, he gives her one last quote, hoping that it'll save his life, okay? And he looks at her, and he says, Luke, I am your father. And it's here where Rey retorts, yeah, no, actually, that's a misquote, and he never actually said that. The real line is, no, I am your father, and then she skewers him. Credits roll!
Hey!
Wow.
Hang on, boys. Is that another end credit scene I'm smelling?
Oh, God.
Ooh. Yeah, so, hang on, boys. What happened with Sans Undertale? Hang on a second.
I forgot about that
Yeah,
plot.
he wasn't in this one.
We never addressed that.
I was almost happy.
Sans Undertale lands on the Sith Crypt planet. He starts to walk towards the temple, where all of our heroes reside. Where they're all nice and happy and celebrating, but they're a bit tuckered out from that fierce battle that they just went through. However, before he can reach the temple, he's stopped at the door. There's a group blocking him. And who is standing in his path right now? We see, standing right there, is Ahsoka, Ghost Yoda, Jar Jar Binks, and Boba Fett. And then big text splashes up onto the screen. This story will conclude in Star Wars: The Extended Universe, now streaming on Disney+.
Wow.
That's how it ends.
Incredible.
Yeah, there you go, boys. That is the end of Star Wars.
So Tanner, do you want to go first, or can I go ahead?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, you kind of lost me at the porgs part, because, you know, in the one Star Wars movie where he's eating the porgs, and it just looks at him, it's like, oh, why would you eat my family? And then he feels bad, so I don't think he'd eat porgs after that, because then he adopted a porg family, so you kind of lost me at that part.
You know, that part was a little inaccurate to Star Wars lore, I gotta say.
So, you know...
that part makes perfect sense, though. It's like how Andrew Jackson was a horrible racist who hated Native Americans, but also had 2 Native American sons.
Yeah. Some people just do strange things in the heat of passion, Dylan.
And, you know, besides that, you made me realize something about most movies.
They're really good?
Is that no matter how many of a certain enemy that you kill in a movie, there always seems to be a large group of reserved somewhere. You have no clue where they came from. Like the part where Sans was killing the entire fleet.
Yeah.
And then you got like an entire like thing of them standing outside the temples. Like, where did they come from? You know?
They were just the ones chilling on the Star Destroyer.
Yeah, exactly.
There's gotta be someone else there.
And then the other thing I will address about the Dragon Ball thing I'll talk about later. Go ahead, Tanner. That was like all I had. It was mostly the porgs.
I say this with absolutely no reservation, no hesitation.
This is the greatest film ever made. We need to greenlight it now.
I was gonna say this is the best of the 3 you've written, certainly.
Oh, perfect. I'm glad to hear it.
I think it's very much true to the spirit of the original sequel.
Yeah.
In that you have a lot of plot elements.
Yes.
And you kind of hope that's good enough.
I mean, they all got resolved, Tanner. Every single plot element in this film was resolved. I tied up all the loose ends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't because you left it open for a series on Disney Plus.
Well, yeah, of course. I need to put that in there. Otherwise, Disney Plus will never, ever greenlight this movie, my guy.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. That'd be fun if they're like, oh, the real moneymaker is a limited series on Disney Plus.
Yeah, exactly.
So we
You'll
need
never know the ending.
We need the movie to tie into that.
We gotta incentivize people to purchase more subscriptions at Disney Plus.
That makes sense. That's a pretty smart marketing move, I guess.
And we threw in a bunch of recognizable Star Wars characters during that part that we'll see during the show. So people will obviously want to go rush to the show then.
So wait, you have Ghost Yoda, but you don't have Jango Fett.
No.
So why not Ghost Boba Fett and then also Jango Fett?
No. How is Boba Fett supposed to be a ghost when he's A, alive, and B, not a Jedi?
Isn't Jango the son?
No, Jango's the father.
What? I always get those two mixed up.
Oh my god.
My poor boy.
Ah, that's fine.
That's why I'm the one writing the Star Wars lore over here, Dylan.
He knows the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Over here creating his own universe. I guess we all are.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. The greatest Star Wars story ever written.
Right. Except,
Oh my god.
Except?
perhaps I am the one with the greatest Star Wars story ever written.
Ooh.
I will say this one is definitively my best one I've written yet.
Yeah?
I think it's a fantastic third episode. I think it's real good. And I can't wait to share it with you.
This is a mighty tall order that you're cooking up right here.
Wouldn't it be the 9th episode?
What do you mean?
You
What did
said
I
third
say?
episode. It'd be the.
Well, you know, because we're doing it. It's a trilogy we're doing.
Yeah. So
It's a third of this
episode
trilogy.
Okay, then I'll accept that then.
You see,
You've won Dylan's favor.
Yeah. You just have an issue with it because you didn't make a trilogy.
I made a.
You made a duology +1.
Yeah. See.
Yeah. Are you
Or should
guys
I
ready
say-
for my epic ending?
Yeah,
Yes.
as long as there are porgs in it.
Well, we'll see.
Tanner, I fucking swear, Disney is not going to greenlight this movie if there are no recognizable characters who they can shill out, okay?
Okay. Here's my opening scroll. Our heroes set off on yet another mission, this time joined by their once enemy, Kylo Ren. Having discovered a Sith holocron on Cyberhyk. That's the name I decided to make up for the Sith planet with the Sith temple. Rey and Kylo set off to find a Jedi holocron. Meanwhile, Poe, Finn, and Roger return to Alliance HQ and find a shocking sight. So you guys remember what happened in my last one?
Yeah, Starkiller came in and he just slaughtered everybody.
Yeah, he fucked everyone up. He killed them all dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Act 1. Team Poe drops out of hyperspace to find a massive chaotic space battle. Finn calls out over the radio. Alliance HQ, this is Finn, what's going on? The radio squealed back. The Empire appeared out of hyperspace a little bit ago. They've put forces on the ground. We're doing everything we can to repel them. Finn shouts at Poe, Roger and I will handle the ground forces. You handle the air. Finn replies, Roger that. This is a moment where their previous experience and teamwork really shine through as they leap into action. We then cut to Rey and Kylo as they come in to land on the planet the Jedi Temple is on. As they're approaching the temple, they hear the activity of stormtroopers. They stealthily infiltrate the temple and begin searching for a holocron. They enter a sort of catacombs area that has art on the wall showing the Skywalker saga. And people get to be like, oh, that's the Darth Vader, or whatever, you know? These fucking Neanderthals that enjoy Star Wars.
Wait, Tanner,
that
did
I'm
we both have
marketing to.
Darth Vader chilling in catacombs?
Maybe. Well, mine's just like a cave painting of him or whatever.
Okay.
Eventually, they reach a large chamber with the holocron in the middle. Kylo begins to approach the relic, but suddenly has a vision of a younger him with his parents, Han and Leia. Him manifesting some dark side powers during a moment of anger, and finally a vision of him running away from home. He then snaps back to reality, there goes gravity, and is blown back to the entrance to the chamber. What just happened? Rey asked, and Kylo responded, I saw a vision of my past, an incredibly strong vision. The holocron must be protected by a field that shows you your darkest memories. Rey thinks for a second and says, the Sith derive their power from anger. In order to be angry, you need to have memories that cause you anger. So a Sith could never get this holocron. But if a Jedi has mastered letting go of their past and focusing on the present, they just might. And she begins walking forward. She is also thrust into a vision. We see her being abandoned by her parents, and she simply whispers, let go of your past. And the vision fades away. She then sees a vision of her struggling to survive on her own. Live in the present, she whispers this time. And that vision goes away. Another vision arises. It's the death of Leia. This time Rey freezes, seemingly unable to act. Tears begin to run down her face. She takes a deep breath, wipes the tears from her eyes. The vision starts to fade away as she says, "Goodbye, Master," and she reaches the holocron and grabs it. So that was the end of Act 1. I think that's a cool little scene that really gets to like it has something to say, you know, and it uses the Jedi teachings in a way that isn't stupid.
Yeah, it's something to say, but like, what's it really saying, Tanner?
Right, but
Could
nothing
these be-
to teach.
Yeah, could this be explored in maybe the next 20 acts or so?
Who knows? Well, there's 3 acts because it's a story. We jump back to Alliance HQ. Poe is going ham on the Imperials. He's flying like a man possessed. But there's just so many Imperial forces, it seems like a drop in the ocean. Poe calls over the radio. Radio? How's it going down there? Finn responds, they've breached the main compound. Roger and I are going to secure the main entrance and then move to save the general. Let's go, Roger. Roger. Because he says Roger when he hears his name, because
Nice.
it's like they say Roger. Finn and Roger charge the main entrance. They look cool as hell. Finn is blasting troopers left and right, and Roger is a barrage of laser fire. They get into the building, and Roger starts welding the doors shut. Finn says to Roger, "Okay, you keep this entrance secured, and I'll run ahead." Roger. Cut back to Poe. He calls out on comms. "Okay, our biggest threat is the destroyers. Bombers, form up on me. We need to target their bridge. Fighters, keep those TIE fighters off of us. They fly at one of the destroyers and unleash their bombs, but have no impact." What? One of the officers in the command center then says, "We've detected an Imperial shield frigate. So long as it's operational, you won't be able to attack the destroyers." Poe then calls out, "Okay, bombers, pull back to a safe distance. Rogue Squadron, follow me. We're taking down that shield frigate." So that's a cool little cameo. We got the Rogue Squadron here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. We're then back in the Jedi Temple. Rey and Kylo are sitting across from each other with the holocrons in front of them. They're meditating, and the holocrons begin to rise in the air, and they combine into a single holocron. They hear voices asking them, "What is the knowledge you seek?" Then they say, "How do I defeat the Empire, and how do I defeat the one who destroyed my temple at the same time?" The voices respond, "The answer to both your questions is the same. You already have everything you need right here." The holocron then falls to the floor. For some reason, it auto-corrected falls to Dallas. So the holocron then Dallas to the floor. What? That was it? Shouts Kylo. He begins walking around the room angrily. Rey is staying calm and saying to herself, "You already have everything you need right here." Kylo says to Rey, "Well, what do we do now?" "I think the holocron means that we, together, are what we need to achieve our goals," Rey responds. "That's ridiculous. We weren't strong enough to defeat him last time." Rey begins to say something, but is interrupted by stormtroopers entering the room. They have a big epic fight, and at one moment they unleash a massive force attack together and seem surprised. The fight ends and they leave the temple. Upon getting back to the ship, they receive a transmission saying, "Calling all Alliance forces. Alliance HQ is under Imperial attack and we need immediate assistance." Rey looks at Kylo and says, "We have to go." And that's the end of Act 2. And here we go, Act 3. Finn is running down hallways, blasting stormtroopers. He rallies some Alliance troopers and moves on the command center. He bursts in the command room just to see Han Solo blast a bunch of stormtroopers. "Where the hell have you all been?" cracks Han Solo. Finn stumbles and says, we've secured the base, but our air forces aren't doing so well." To which Han grumbles, "Why do I always have to do the work? Come on, kid." Poe is in the midst of an intense firefight. "Commander, their defense is too tight. There's no way we'll get to their shield frigate," some, fucking fighter pilot says to Poe. Poe responds, "We don't have a choice. If we can't take out that ship, their destroyers will tell our... Why am I so bad at talking today? That ship, their destroyers will tear our fleet apart." Poe is flying around looking real cool, but he's losing fighters. I just want to double check. You guys are both here, yeah?
Oh yeah, we're
absolutely.
here. We're
Okay,
very
I'm
intently listening.
Yeah, I'm just making... Because, like, for some reason it looks like Discord isn't open, but whatever. Commander, we're getting torn apart out here. Then Han's voice comes on the comms. Alright, kids, the cavalry's here. And then the Millennium Falcon comes streaking across the sky.
The Millennium Falcon from Star Wars?
Yeah, the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. It's flying
That's a Star
around and
Wars
shooting
thing.
TIE fighters. It looks so cool. Poe calls out, everyone form up on the Falcon and make for their shield frigate. There's like a fancy flying scene that ends with them destroying the shield frigate. Okay, let's turn our attention to the destroyers, shouts Poe. They manage to bring down a destroyer all the while Han is going berserk. Then a very unique ship appears and opens up its bay doors, revealing Starkiller.
Uh-oh.
He focuses for a second and then unleashes a massive force lightning blast that destroys many ships, both Alliance and Imperial. Shit! All ships take evasive action. Avoid the force user at all costs, Poe shouts. Then a new voice comes over the comms. Leave him to us. Rey and Kylo's ship shows up. Starkiller is going nuts with lightning and massive force pushes and literally stopping fighters in midair and crushing them. There's a moment just like in the video game where he grabs a frigate and crashes it into the planet.
Good God. Okay.
Yeah, he's going sicko mode. We have a scene of Tarkin instructing his fighters to defend Starkiller. There are scenes of Tarkin sprinkled in here and there of him like saying stuff, but I didn't want to write all that out. Eventually, Han flies the Millennium Falcon directly at Starkiller. Starkiller starts pushing it back, but Han hits the hyperspace lever and slowly starts creeping towards Starkiller. So basically, Starkiller is able to hold back a ship entering hyperspace at least somewhat.
Whew,
Eventually, Han crashes into Starkiller's ship, destroying both ships. People are like, oh no, the general, he is dead, God! And then Rey says, is that it? Is he gone? Just then, another force lightning bolt shoots out from the ground. Rey screams to Kylo, bring us in for a landing, we have to stop him. They land and approach Starkiller, who says, you think you can stand against me? I'm at the absolute apex of my power! Rey and Kylo simply ignite their lightsabers and engage him. Epic fight scene. Starkiller is winning though. He goes to push them and they push back together and actually blow him back.
Nice.
There's a momentary look of surprise on his face and he says, could it be a force dyad? Rey says, what is he saying? What's a force dyad? I don't know, responds Kylo. Starkiller chuckles. You two are a force dyad, force users born at the same moment, one destined for the light side, one destined for the dark side. But when they use their powers together, their powers is unrivaled. Well, almost unrivaled. And then he starts fighting them again, because he's cocky and powerful or whatever.
Yeah, it's really cool and edgy.
Yeah. They're fighting, and Rey and Kylo realize that they need to use their powers together. At one point, it looks like he's about to kill Rey, but a blaster bolt hits him in the same spot Luke got hit in, and we see an injured Finn with a blaster in the distance. Finn survived. Oh, I didn't specifically mention this. Finn was in the Millennium Falcon, so up to this point in the fight, you thought Finn was dead.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense.
And yeah, I thought this was a cool scene, how having the blaster bolt hit Starkiller the way Luke got hit by a blaster bolt, and that led to him dying.
Yeah.
The tide of battle turns, and slowly, hit by hit, they manage to weaken Starkiller, and then Kylo finishes him off. The Alliance fleet turns the tide against the Imperial fleet, and they're forced to flee. There's celebration. It's mentioned that the new Empire has been driven underground, and people are, sad about Han's death.
I'm especially.
And maybe there's like Han is actually dead. Maybe there's like a ribbon ceremony like at the end of the last one. And
does
not
Chewbacca
the last
actually?
one, but
does Chewbacca actually get a ribbon this time? Because in the
I
last
don't-
one he got screwed over.
I don't think Chewbacca's been in my movie.
What? You can only
The
freak out about
end.
one furry creature at a time. It's either the Porgs or Chewie.
Mm-hmm. By the way, fucking Nub Nub was co-piloting the Millennium Falcon, so he's dead too.
Nice. Oh, well, not so nice.
Who the hell should I know who Nub Nub is?
I don't know if that's his name, to be honest.
Hang on, let's see here. Star Wars Nub Nub.
I'm gonna look up list of prominent Star Wars rebels.
There's Yub Nub.
There you go, Yub Nub.
Yeah, perfect.
He looks like he has like he's got a weird head.
Yeah.
Oh, I know who he is.
Yeah, he's got a weird fucked up head for sure.
Okay.
He piloted the Millennium Falcon with Lando in Episode 6.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
See, it's like a poem. It rhymes.
A.
Dylan doesn't even understand that reference. I don't know why he's saying a.
I wasn't fully paying attention, so I thought I'd acknowledge it. Anyway.
He thought you were talking about Yub Nub rhymes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
there we are. I'm bummed out that Starkiller died. You should have had him be the victor in the end. much like in Infinity War. But this time it just ends there.
Yeah. Well. Nah, I don't think you can do that with Star Wars. Star Wars, like, the good guy winning is way too integral to Star Wars IMO.
But it doesn't have to be.
I mean, in
You're
my
right.
second writing, the good guys didn't technically win. They didn't lose either, but they definitely were not having a great time.
Well, the second one, that's fine. It's when you're ending a trilogy that
You want to end on a high note.
Star Wars is really hard about good guys winning, even though they just make a new trilogy afterwards in which the good guys are worse off, or the same, if not worse off, than at the end of the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Somehow.
how I decided to start my second one, which would make sense because the first one was a flashback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. They had really good plot anchors, and obviously, without all the meat and potatoes, you just got the general gist of it set up. I think with like filler,
Right.
dialogue and all that kind of stuff. I think it would fill out to be a pretty good one.
Yeah. What about you, Nico?
Tanner?
Yeah.
Where
If you
are
say
all
something
of
about if you say something about porgs, I'm gonna get violent.
It's not specifically about porgs.
Okay.
Where are the marketable characters?
What, you don't like Roger?
I could take him or leave him.
Wow.
I'm just imagining Roger as like a assembled version of the battle droids from the Sis, like just a bunch of them put together.
Yeah, that's specifically what I described him as in my first episode.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I was remembering him correctly.
He's a bunch of different Trade Federation droids, just like cobbled together.
Oh, okay, so that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
in that kind of context.
He's real Frankenstein together. What you see, Dylan? Frankenstein is the Romanized version of Roger. That's where Tanner was going with that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Romanized, eh?
Yeah. Tanner put a lot of thought into that name, my boy.
Well, that was the end of our Star Wars rewrite. What are some lessons you guys have learned from this activity? One I've learned is that making a good story is hard.
It is.
Who would have thought?
I don't know if any of my stories are good. I think they're better than what they're replacing in at least 2 instances, but
Yeah.
man.
I will say, one thing I forgot to mention about Fat Palpatine is that there is a purpose as to why he's so fat. You see, he stores a bunch of extra force energy within that fat. So whenever he uses his force powers, he can go like extra hard, and in doing so it makes him thinner. It's like fat gum, you know?
I was about to mention fat gum.
Yeah, it's like fat gum.
Who doesn't love fat gum?
Dylan has no idea what we're talking about. Dylan, what did you think of this whole story writing process?
I learned that I can be pretty heckin' creative, and, if you don't understand the confines and the rules of a universe, and you kind of just do your own thing, you can do whatever. Like, I learned today, like, I didn't know a lot of rules about Star Wars universe, apparently, and I could just do whatever I wanted, and it turned out to be pretty alright, so... Heck the rules, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
To heck with the rules.
Heck 'em.
Surprisingly, even though Hunter wasn't here, I think this might be our longest rewrite episode.
Yeah, absolutely. We did have like a lot of stuff going on prior to the episode as well, so we had a lot. We had a lot of extra talk in there.
We had a lot.
Yeah.
Guapish episode 17 came out.
Uh-huh.
I gotta be honest, I don't remember a single second of what we talked about that time. I'm looking forward to watching that one.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff in the first half that I don't totally remember, and the last half was where Dylan was gone, and we talked about women.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's right, we did talk about women.
Yeah.
I will say, Nico.
What's up?
So, when you were talking about, you don't understand the whole spirit bomb thing. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that arc didn't make any sense.
Of course, yeah.
I will say, however, another example of the spirit bomb sword technique isn't exactly the same, but there was like the Super Android 13 movie, where Goku makes a spirit bomb, and instead of using it, he absorbs it into his body, and then uses that stored energy to defeat Super Android 13.
Yeah.
So, like...
But that movie was also bad, though.
I didn't say it was a good movie, I'm just saying it's another example of, like, how that works with the sword.
But the movies aren't canon, Dylan.
I know they're not canon, but obviously the technique is canon if it was made...
No, it's not.
Now it is.
Well, yeah, now it is, which is a bummer.
Well, I thought it was a pretty interesting technique, and even though it made no sense in the Spirit Bomb, it kind of came out of... Isn't the Spirit Bomb a King Kai technique?
Yes.
Okay, so that especially makes no sense. Unless he learned it from Goku in that timeline before he died.
Oh, he didn't.
Probably not. Oh wait, yeah, Goku died before he was...
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, no, that's done. That don't make no sense. I agree.
So yeah, if you want to hear even more Dragon Ball talk, subscribe to Guapish, everybody, and we'll be seeing you next time.
Wait,
We doing Dragon Ball rewrites?
I don't think we should do Dragon Ball rewrites.
No, we're not.
That's a bad idea.
Jesus Christ, no. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.